Hello children! Before I start today's class, there is this problem I have been facing and want to know how to solve it. Will you help me? I wish the problems would end there, but unfortunately it has now become a communal issue. People have started blaming each other's behavior to the other's religion, region or language. I feel very bad because when we all shifted in, we treated each other as equals and like friends, and all of us worked towards wanting a perfect atmosphere to live in.
Let's see. We could form a committee of elected members from our building and voted for by the people of our apartments.
Now that we have found a solution to my problem, does it not remind you of how the disputes of villages, cities, states and countries are solved? Let's start by studying how decisions were taken in a society in which only one community lived and in which all were more or less equal.
Many different societies are called tribes. Tribes are nothing but a social group consisting of numerous families with some common characteristics. Most tribes live in jungles. Almost all states in India have tribes living in jungles. All these tribes have different ways of life, different languages, cultures, etc. But they are still called tribes despite these differences. It is because they share certain similar characteristics. Tribes all over the world have different reasons to be called tribes. Take a look at the African tribes. They all live together in jungles, look out for each other, respect each other, and have various bizarre beliefs. But above all, they live in harmony.
Let us discuss some of the characteristics of tribes.
The first characteristic is, usually all members of a tribe consider themselves to be descendants of a common ancestor.
Which means all members of a tribe have common ancestors as their forefathers. This builds the feeling of brotherhood and makes them consider each other to be their relatives.
The second characteristic is, they believe that all their resources like land, forests, pastures and water are the common wealth of the entire tribe and not of individual families or persons.
This is exactly like the solution we came up with for my society. Just like my society has a common area and facilities, all members of the tribe also have a similar facility of land and water. Therefore, they can share and use these resources subject to the rules they frame together.
The third characteristic is, in tribal societies, there is no difference in the rich and poor, as everyone has a share in the common resources of the tribe.
Wow! Now what a world we would live in if all of us followed the same rules. We would all live a life of equality and there would be no income diversities. Imagine a place where tribal land may be divided equally among all families depending upon the size of the family. In some tribes, every few years, all land may be redistributed or redivided among the families, depending on the growth of the tribe and the needs of its members. In some tribes, all members of a tribe may till the soil together and share the produce equally. Now that would certainly solve the food problem and everyone will be equally nourished. No one can sell the land given to them as the entire tribe is considered the owner of the land. No one take more land than they can till or use. So everyone works equally for the well-being of the tribe and thus treat each other with compassion.
The fourth characteristic is, generally all families of a tribe do all kinds of work like cultivation, gathering food from the forests, grazing animals, making cloth, basket, houses, tools, etc.
This would mean that unlike in the Hindu religion where castes were defined according to professions and then given titles and positions in society, making it a society of diversities, the tribes have no such rules, maintaining an equality even in their work distribution, and there are few or no special craft persons.
The fifth characteristic is women and men and even children share the work of the family.
This solves another diversity faced by our society, a clear-cut equality among men and women, irrespective of physical or emotional strength. However, in many tribes, men have greater power and role in decision making than women.
The sixth characteristic is tribes give lot of importance to shared celebration of festivals and rituals to please the tribal gods and ancestors. They also have distinct myths, customs, songs, dances, and art which are common to all the members of the tribe.
This would mean they share a common religion and have common beliefs and habits. So all this helps tribes in living in harmony. Now let's try and name some tribes in India.
The Chenchus, the Konda Reddis, the Gonds, Koyas, Yanadis, Savaras, etc. These tribes may settle over large areas in several small villages or habitats.
We still need answers to some more questions like how do tribes take decisions about common concerns and how do they settle disputes among their members. For this, let's study the Gonda tribe.
Scholars called anthropologists have been studying the tribal people. They lived among the tribes and noted down their culture, lifestyle, beliefs, decision making and other characteristics about their lifestyle. One such famous scholar who studied the tribes of Andhra Pradesh was Furer Haimendrof, who came to Andhra Pradesh in 1940s. He studied the Chenchus, the Konda Reddis and the Gonds and wrote books about them. He also studied several other tribes of India, especially in the northeastern states. According to Furer, the village had a village headman. These village headmen derived their authority from the village, the council of adult male householders called the Panch. This council was the last word in matters concerning the village as a whole, and the headman is no more than its chairman. The village Panch in a sense represents the Gond society as a whole. The Panch meets only when it is necessary. When matters of importance are discussed, all adult men, young boys and women are present to watch the proceedings. The Panch meets only when it is necessary. When matters of importance are discussed, all adult men, young boys and women are present to watch the proceedings. Women of this tribe have no voice in the council, but are free to put their case before the Panch. Some of the functions of the Panch are the fixing of the dates of major festivals, allow marriages or divorces, set down norms for marriages or death rights, settle disputes. The Panch can impose fines and may even force a person to leave the village, even order all other Gonds not to have any relation with the person.
See, they also have a committee or council to solve their disputes and are democratic about their decisions. Now, when a dispute involves people from many villages, then all the council of all the villages concerned will meet in a joint panchayat. When a dispute is presented to the Panch, the first aim of the Panch is to get the facts of the case. The two parties are allowed to make detailed presentation of their points of view. Very similar to what we do in our courts, except for the fact that we are represented by lawyers and here the parties represent themselves. Some elder member of the community may cross-question them to ascertain the actual facts, and also ask witnesses of the case to give their evidence. After this, the Panch discusses the provisions of the traditional customs of the Gonds and the decisions in previous cases of similar kind. They try to arrive at a solution acceptable to both parties. When all aspects of the case have been debated, one of the senior members proposes a settlement. This by no means is a final decision, as the person affected may want some change. After hearing his or her response, the Panch will take a final decision. Let us read the example on justice in the Gonda tribes given by Furer in one of his books. One day, a girl brought a case before the Panch against a man who teased her, and when she slapped him for it, he hit her, and fortunately she managed to run away. The accused man was questioned. He admitted his guilt. The Panch asked the girl what she wished to be done to the accused. She replied, "I want the greatest possible insult that could be done to him, and he should give in writing that he will not trouble me anymore." The Panch then ordered him to bow down before the girl and ask for her pardon. As we all know that bowing in front of someone is a mark of respect and also a way of telling someone that they have a greater position in comparison. So this could have been an apt punishment. Now let us learn more about the Panch and the rules to be a part of the council.
The head is also known as the Patla. The post of a Patla is generally hereditary. That means the son or daughter inherits the post from the mother or father. The Patla is answerable to the Panch, but in many ways can be an effective leader. Since the headman is from the family that has led the village for many generations, he is involved on a day-to-day basis, since he knows about the formation of the village through the Panch meets only once in a while. The functions of the headman are: ensure unity among the villagers, to negotiate with outsiders and government agencies, coordinate various community work for the village including festivals, entertain and feed guests of the village.
In return for all this, he gets 1 day's labor in a year on his field from all men and women of the village. This assistance enables him to till more land than his family can till and to feed the guests of the village. Whenever a headman becomes tyrannical and or goes against the wishes of the people, the Panch has the right to replace him or banish him and his family. Now, is that not a fair way of dealing a community where everyone is given equal rights and opportunities? Let's see what Furer has to say. Furer also said that the system changed from the 1940s to the 50s, when other tribes from Maharashtra and Telugu came and settled down here. Soon the system resembled the modern panchayat, and people started going to courts and government police to settle their disputes. The headman soon lost his position and powers, and the general election systems were applied.
Now let's summarize the lesson. We saw that the customs of the tribe, as understood by all the adult male members of the community, are very important in conducting the affairs of the community. We also saw that every family had a say in the affairs of the community, and together they were more powerful than the head. The head had to persuade and keep the members of the community happy to retain his position and could not go against their wishes. We also saw that in return for his services to the tribe, he received some special privileges in the form of free labor on his field. This gave him more wealth than the other villagers, but he had to use it for the welfare of the tribe.
With this we end our lesson. But you can go home and study more about other tribes and their systems. You could also compare it to today's system of justice. So bye for now, and we will all meet again.